Killer Camper here. Today in this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to down the God Queen so you can get that badass artifact appearance, because that is why you're here. You want it. I have it. I'm going to help you get it. Don't worry, man. We're going to be looking badass together. Alright, so starting things off, I think you have to spec appropriately for this boss encounter. Otherwise, you're just going to be flopping, or it's going to be extremely difficult for you. So I'm going to go over the talents that I recommend that you guys take in order to be successful in this fight. And I'm also going to go over the fight mechanics and the abilities of each of the bosses, just so you know what has been fucking you up. Because let's face it, if you weren't getting fucked up, you wouldn't be here, right? Alright, so starting things off with the first here, we have Fist. Then we're going to Rainfall. Rainfall, this is pretty much the only time I'm going to take Rainfall, but there's a lot of unstoppable damage for the most part while you're doing this boss fight. So having the Rainfall is a great way to cushion that damage, so you're not constantly having to just like spam healing touches on yourself. Alright, then going into the next tier, we have Earth Grab Totem, because keep in mind, two of these bosses are melee, so having a good root totem is going to provide a great peel. Then we have Ancestral Swiftness, again, it's for damage. Overcharge, because there are going to be a lot of times in which you're doing the boss, the fight mechanics, and while you're doing the mechanics, you're not going to be in melee range of any of the bosses, so having that lightning bolt, that souped up lightning bolt, is a great way to keep pressure and end the fight faster. And I chose Crashing Storms because all three of these bosses, they do have a shared health pool. You know what that means? When you drop one Crashing Storm, if they're all in it, they're all taking damage. What? That's like the Crashing Storm is doing 3 times more damage. That is awesome. That is good. And Earth and Spike, because they're going to be situations in which you need a high spike in damage. So let's take Earth and Spike. Now I'm going to go into the fight mechanics, and then I'll go into the boss abilities. So actually, let's go into the boss abilities first. So the first boss here has 3 abilities. They all have 3 unique abilities. This one's pretty much just going to be casting on a Shadow Bolt type ability the entire time you're fighting him. You can interrupt it with Wind Shear, but it doesn't really hit that hard, so I wouldn't even really worry about it. Then he can also put up a shield, which will absorb 6 million damage. That is a lot of freaking damage, guys. 6 million. So that is when you're going to want to make sure you have Earth and Spike up, because you're going to want to use Earth and Spike and do as much damage as possible. That way you can get that shield down, because while that shield is up, he's also going to be casting an ability. It's a 20-second cast, but if he does get it off, it will one-shot your soul. That is not good, alright? So that's that boss explained in a nutshell. Moving on to the next boss, the one in the center right here, saying, leave here or die. I'm going to kill you. You don't even know it. But yeah, she has 3 abilities. Go figure. One, she pretty much drops Ebola virus on the floor, and it has about a 10-yard radius. It's not really called Ebola virus, but it's like green gloop, and you definitely don't want to stand in it, because guess what? Ebola virus is bad for your health. So when she drops out, you want to try to just get out of it as soon as possible. That way you're not taking that much damage. Then she also has a charge ability. Now this charge ability can actually knock you, it does knock you back. And if you pay attention, there's actually a ring here, right? And there's small spaces in between that ring. And if you get knocked back, you can be knocked out of the ring, and this will cancel the encounter, and it sucks, alright? And then the final ability, she'll be empowered, and when she becomes empowered, she pretty much gains these giant, I don't know why I'm using air quotes, sorry. She gets these giant freaking wings, and she'll be able to do 300,000 damage per second. So this is when you're going to want to make sure you have Hex on her. Now, if you have her Hex before, she'll actually still gain the empowerment buff, but she won't be doing any damage. It completely mitigates it. As long as she's Hexed, or in some form of crowd control, she's not going to be doing any damage to you. Now, if you consistently just keep spamming Hex on her, it will be DR'd, and then when that moment comes when she actually does become empowered, you pretty much won't have a Hex available, and you will die. So what I do recommend you do is only really start casting Hex when she says, like, hey, I'm becoming empowered, because from the moment she says it, then you have like 4 seconds to actually get the Hex off, so you have more than enough time. And then moving on to the final boss, this guy right here, he has 3 abilities. Ability number one, he's just going to be throwing axes across the room like a wild man. And the axes, they don't really hit that hard. I mean, you can try to dodge them, but like it really doesn't hit that hard. As long as you have your rainfall up, you should be fine. The next ability is going to be berserking. When he like grows, he gets freaking huge. And guess what? It's pretty much like Avatar. Warrior entering Avatar, you know, just like stay away from me. Just slowly, just to stay away from him. This is actually when you're going to want to drop your Earth Grab Totem. Now, it's going to take him like some time to get to you. What I recommend you do actually is first drop just your regular Earth Bind Totem to slow him. And with that, it's going to take him about like 5 seconds or so to get to you, right? And then you drop Earth Grab Totem, and then you're going to root him. And as he stays in that root, by the time the root ends, his entire berserking phase is gone, and you've just mitigated all of that. Way to go, Earth Grab Totem. And then his final ability, he's pretty much just going to start casting, he'll start Blade Storming. Now, unlike the live Warriors on live, this Blade Stormer will actually freaking destroy you. Like, I think it hits for probably like 600,000 or 700,000. So definitely do not want to be in it at all. Now, it's also going to create a vortex. So if he's Blade Storming here, it's going to be pulling your character towards him. What I do is I just enter Ghost Whip form, and I just run on the far outer perimeter, and I start healing myself. So it's like, honestly, whenever he Blade Storms, I'm happy because I can just run out and just top myself off. So it's not really too big of a concern. Now, while you're doing this entire boss encounter, you want to try to keep the bosses on the outer perimeters, because there are going to be these like runes, these free runes that spawn in the center of the room. And what you don't want happening is having bosses in the middle of the room while you're trying to get the runes. Because let's say this guy's berserking, right? And you can't really kite him effectively if he's in the area of the runes, right? So definitely try to stay on the outer perimeter the entire time. And he's going to run through and run through the runes, and then they will disappear. If you don't get all of them, they will detonate, and they will pretty much almost one-shot you. So if you notice, pretty much if you mess up, most abilities can one-shot you. So this pretty much just have to get the mechanics down. Once you do get it down, you are good. And the final thing that will destroy you here are going to be Valkyries. Now they say like, hey, Valkyries, I call Valkyries to attack you, blah 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 blah. They announce it. So once you hear that, just try to like look around, like, where the hell are the Valkyries coming? And it's going to look like a freaking armada. Yeah, an armada. I can't say that word. It's going to be a whole bunch of Valkyries, but there's going to be a small opening, and you're just going to want to position your character right by that opening, and then they'll just fly past you, right? That's what you want to do. If you mess up, or if you know you're going to mess up, just pop any type of defensive. It is possible for you to actually take a hit, but I mean, it'll still bring you down with a defensive to like probably like 50% health. Without a defensive, it's going to almost one-shot you. So try to avoid it. Now, let's actually just get into a clip of me downing the boss, and I hope this was helpful for you guys. If it was, just give the video a thumbs up, and definitely subscribe to my channel. Whew, let's go.
Live here or die. Very well. You have chosen death. The Drakanyard never yields! It's too far away. I need to get closer. The power of my father's blood flows through me! is mortal. Behold the speed of my axe! The power of my father's blood flows through me!
It's too far away. I'm out of range. I need to get closer.
I draw upon the power of my ancestors!
I need to get closer. It's too far.
The Brickajar never yields! Behold, the power of my father's blood flows through me! Behold, the speed of my axe!
I need to get closer.
I draw upon the power of my ancestors!
It's too far.
ancestors! I draw upon the power of my ancestors! I draw upon the power of my ancestors!
It's too far.
I draw upon the power of my ancestors!
I need to get closer.
I draw upon the power of my ancestors! I draw upon the power of my ancestors!
It's too far away.
I draw upon the power of my ancestors!
It's too far away.
I draw upon the power of my ancestors!
I need to get closer. I can't use them.
I draw upon the power of my ancestors! I draw upon the power of my ancestors! I draw upon the power of my ancestors!
It's too far away.
I draw upon the power of my ancestors!
You must overcome the corruption, Sigryn. You have the strength.
But, Mother, I must avenge your death!
Vengeance will not bring her back, Sigryn. Your people require a leader. If you fail, the Tidescorn are doomed.
No, the Fel will not take me! It will not! Forgive me, Elir. I stand unbroken. Fight with honor, outsider.